What's up? So I figured I would share another project I got on the go here. So some of you might know I have basically like a little toy hauler I made on a 24-foot trailer deck with a camper on top. Sweet rig if you're going camping or going to the racetrack. But if I ever got to move anything or get steel, I'm basically screwed. So I have to go borrow a trailer, rent a trailer. If I got to move somebody's car, it's the same deal. So I need another car trailer, and I sold my old one years ago, and I always regretted it. And car trailers right now are in Canada at least $3-4 grand at least. So I got myself basically a frame of an old camper or RV camper, I would say, tow behind. So it's a little more than 20 foot long, and yeah, I got it for $600. So if you factor in the price of steel right now and axles, you're probably going to be more than $600. So this is a good start, I would say. It's pretty long. One thing I did notice is it's quite narrow compared to your typical flat deck trailer. And like my car right there, I measured it. It will just fit between the wheels or the tires. So what I did was, obviously this was an RV, so there's outriggers to kind of hold the frame or the body of the old RV. So I cut these down 4.5 inches past the frame. That way I'm going to gain about 9 inches total. So I'm going to box in, basically going to run 1.5 inch HSS, kind of like a new frame to sit on top. And then that's like the thickness of a 2x8 or a 2x6 for the wood deck. So it's basically what I've been doing is cutting those outriggers down to fit the new frame that I'm going to put on. And then I'm basically just going to lob it off back here so it's an even 20 foot. Lob it off and then take this square section and put it on there. So it's an even 20. But yeah, like I said, bang for buck. If you're looking to get a car trailer on a budget, I would say this is the way to go. So figured I would share the process. I know before I did research, and other guys have done it successfully, which is why I got the idea to do this. So figured I'd document it and share it with you guys. So yeah, gonna keep cutting and keep you updated as I go. Yeah, so you can see how much more narrower it would be compared to like a normal flat deck or even my other trailer. There's no way it would fit through that door there, but luckily for me it just fits into my shop. So I was gonna stick weld everything, but MIG's a lot faster and less cleaning, so if I can be in the shop, that's better. So basically I cut that 4x4 off the end and put it inside the frame. So now the trailer is exactly 20 feet from that end to that end. So I'm basically going to seal weld that out. And then I cut the outriggers at 4.5 inches. So it's just in front of those wheels. I left those outriggers so I can have my fenders welded onto there. So basically it'll be a frame kind of sitting on those outriggers the whole way, both sides. And that's going to gain about 9 inches of width for the deck. So my 240 here will just fit on there. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to seal weld that. And then one thing I did notice is I wanted to throw some bracing in here just to stiffen it up a bit, but they kind of got funny with the angle iron here. So these guys are heel down, which is great for screwing the boards down. So I left that one and that one. That way I can screw the deck down, but I'm gonna have to move this one, let's see, 4 or 5 of them. So I'll make those the same, heel down like that one is, and then I can screw the boards to that. So that'll probably take me to the end of the day, and then I gotta go get some steel and box this all in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then seam weld this out and flip those angles around. Oh, it's just welding away. So I flipped a couple of these angles, ended up only doing 2 of them. So this guy here, it was just bolted in. So instead of removing the brackets, I just unbolted it and flipped it around, welded it on there. And then this guy, the same thing. So then I'll be able to screw boards down there and there, here, and then at the front. So should be more than enough. I'm hoping I can get 2x8s or 2x10s that are long enough, 20-foot sections. I'm hoping I can. Also finished up the back there. Like I said, I just boxed it in on the inside of the frame. So I'll probably do like recessed lights into this tube because it's pretty thin. That's what used to hold the sewage drain, or the whatever you want to call it, black water hose. So that's pretty much it for today. Just went over some questionable welds up at the tongue there. I don't know what year this was built, but they didn't cope the channel to meet up with the frame. They kind of just had this flat bar on there, so wasn't able to get in there with the MIG, so I just used a stick and got a pass in there. And then moved the chains to the outside of the frame because it was just held on by this like 1/4-inch round bar. It was really small. Had a feeling it would probably just bend if he did have to use it. So move the chains to the outside. I think I'm going to cut these angle irons. This is where the batteries used to go, or the propane, one of the two. Cut those out in the middle, and then the spare will just kind of sit in there, and I'll make an upright to bolt to the rim. But that's pretty much it. And then instead of screwing the planks down at the front, once I box this in, I'll just have this angle iron as kind of like a lip to hold the boards down. So I don't have to screw the front. I'll just kind of slide them under that angle iron, and then I can screw them all the way down. So that's pretty much it. Gotta grab some steel and making headway on this unit. Got myself some tube this morning. 2 20-footers. The price of steel right now is insane. I was hoping to get a little bit more, but I'm just gonna get what I need and see where that gets me. So basically just gonna 45 the ends of these, kind of frame it in. Like I said before, just more or less to get a little bit more deck width out of it. I'm gonna knock these guys off too. I was gonna use them for the fenders, but they're facing different ways. Like they're not both facing in towards the wheels, so I'm just gonna knock them off, and then when I get the fenders, I don't know if I'm gonna make like drive over fenders or if I'm gonna do you know, your typical rounded fenders. So I'm gonna knock those off, 45 the ends of these tubes, and just kind of frame in the deck, and that'll keep me going for now. So let's get on that. There, looking more like a trailer now. So I got that tube put in, kind of around the perimeter, a little bit wider than the existing frame. Just using the outriggers that were already on there. So, like I said, cut them down 4.5 inches off the old frame. You can see it's just inside the wheels. So that's going to give me another 9 inches. So it's about 6.5 feet wide now. But yeah, I feel like it's looking pretty good. I played around with the braces in the middle here a bit more. I added some 2x2 3/16 HSS right here and up there. My idea is you're going to want most of the weight over the axles, so those are a lot thicker, and then that way when you tie down a car, most of the weight's going to be riding on those guys. The existing stiffeners are good because they're thinner angle irons, so it'll be good to screw the boards down. So there's one right at the back here, kind of all the way along. So I got all that put on, quite a bit of welding involved. Stagger stitched the tube out, seam welded all the outriggers to the new frame, and like this isn't really structural by any means, but it's just gonna make the deck look a little bit more finished. So then when I went to the front here, you can kind of see what I was talking about, how that 2x4 just slides underneath. So this is just 1.5 inch angle iron. So I'm hoping I can just slide all my boards kind of under the front there, and then I won't have to screw them down in the front. And then I kind of made this don't know if you want to call it like a bullhorn or something like that, but I don't know. I've seen them on other trailers. If I go to drift events, I can stack my wheels in here, and even if you got to pull a car up, if you mount the winch up here or whatever. So added that on. Yeah, you can see the other tube I added. Next thing I wanted to do was figure out where to mount this spare tire. So probably going to remove these angle irons here and try to repurpose them. Just move them onto here, and then the wheel will kind of sit in that void, and I'll make some kind of post to come out from here and bolt the rim to the trailer. But we're getting there. Almost at the point where we could get some wood and see what it looks like. But yeah, that's pretty much the update for now. Gotta get that spare tire on there, and I will pick up where I leave off. Picking up where I left off. I didn't really film anything yesterday because I was just kind of giving her. I'll do a cost breakdown at the end of the video, but my budget is a little bit more than I wanted to spend. Like these fenders, they're 150 bucks each, which I think is insane, but factor in the time it would take me to make them from scratch and the steel, it's I don't know, I just got them, threw them on, it was easy enough. So a couple small things I've done, simple things like a new pin for the tongue. Got these hooks, they were like $3 each. You can put them on the chains that were already on the trailer. I did finish the spare tire holder. I just kind of made like my own wing nut here and kind of added a tube to bolt the trailer spare tire on there. So that's done. Did repurpose the angle iron, so that was easy enough to do. What else did we do? I got these lights. Came with a harness, so I have almost enough wire to do the whole trailer, but I'll have to kind of just splice it together. But that kit was 40 bucks, so that was a pretty good deal. I did want to go with recessed lights, but oh well. Bang for the buck. These are gonna work all right. Just kind of off on the side here. So I made those tabs. There's its own marker light on that fender up there. This guy here. So I made kind of like 3/4 inch round bar solid for the ramps to hook on. That way you kind of have some adjustment. You can move the ramp if you got a wider car or a narrower car. So put those on. Obviously I got the fenders. I'll probably put the light or the license plate smack dab in the middle, and then you're supposed to have a light to illuminate the plate. So I just had an old LED strip, so it'll kind of be like a little underglow for the plate, which is kind of cool. When I put these fenders on, I welded them to the new perimeter, and then I just use angle iron to kind of brace it. That way they're kind of stiff because I have a habit of stepping on them. I also put one in the middle, and that kind of ties the middle together, and then I just got to get backers for the inside, but we'll do that at another time. Then I put these tie downs. You can see them, they're kind of under the frame, so there's 8 of them total. And then you can kind of run your strap over the side and just hook them here. So I figured that's decent. So I got some Trim Clad paint. I'm just gonna do this with a brush. I feel like that way you get a good coat on there, and this isn't like a finished car or anything that anybody's gonna be looking at. Just want to keep it from rusting out. So pretty much going to add on that little strip of flat bar there, and start laying out the wiring and paint the sucker, and I'll get the wood today. So like I said, I'll do a cost breakdown of what it cost me to finish this thing. I don't know, in Canada the price of steel and wood is pretty expensive, so like I said, it's a little bit more than I wanted to, but I did find 20-foot lengths, 2x8s, so I won't have to splice anything, which is kind of good. But yeah, finished putting this flat bar on there and paint it, and then start running the wires, and then I can go get that wood hopefully later today. So it's kind of where we're at. Alrighty, got the first coat of paint on. Took longer than I thought with a brush, but what I like about it is it goes on thick, and I've rattle canned a lot of stuff. Living in Calgary, Alberta, our winters are pretty hard on vehicles and trailers, so don't really want this thing to rust. I mean, on the wheel wells there you can see brush marks, but I don't really care that much about it as long as it went on thick and prevents some rust. I didn't do the whole trailer because it was already painted black. The other guy I bought it off of was going to build a little shack on it, so he started painting the frame, so a lot of it was already done, but I did go over any bare steel. So I think it looks pretty good. The VIN was stamped there, so I just painted it white and then masked it off. So I'll probably do another coat once it's dry on the fenders and around the tongue here a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty much done. So I'm gonna bolt the lights on and start wiring this thing up. I still need to get a little 12-volt battery for the breakaway. That's one thing I completely forgot about, but I can wire the rest of it up and just leave the wires exposed, so when that battery comes in I can hook that up and just make a little box here somewhere. But yeah, I also added all these little chunks of pipe all the way along the side, so the wiring is going to be all tucked up and not hanging low. But yeah, bolt the lights on and start wiring this thing up. Go get the wood hopefully today, and it shouldn't take too much to screw those planks down, and then my trailer's pretty much done. So put those lights on. All right, so I got the lights working. Took a little bit of effort, to be expected. I mean, having to trace all the wires and make sure everything is vibing. And then my truck had a blown fuse, so I had to figure that out. It wasn't sending power to the signal lights, but anyway, got it working. I think it looks pretty cool. The LED lights, got them on a good deal, and then kind of the underglow there for the plate. Just a strip of an LED strip. So I think if you're following the trailer, it'll look pretty cool. It's another reason why I wanted to do this, was kind of throw my own flair at it and build the trailer how I want. But even the brakes work for a trailer that's been sitting for God knows how long. The brakes work pretty good. Paint is still tacky. I'll just turn on the lights here. You can see the VIN right there. Like I said, I masked it off. Then I kind of made, don't mind my wiring here, I still got to wire in the breakaway switch and in the battery charge auxiliary cable, but I made these little like grounding lugs and welded those on a couple spots on the trailer, and then that way you don't have to mess around with a nut and bolt through the side or whatever the case may be. They're just welded on. I've made grounding out the whole trailer pretty easy. And then yeah, I just used the old wiring that was already for the brakes, so that worked pretty good. Ran out of time today, so I won't be able to get the wood, but tomorrow I can just haul this thing now that it has lights and brakes, and it'll be the maiden voyage. Go to the lumberyard and just get my lengths with this. So yeah, all in all, it's coming to a close. When I get the wood, I'll pick up tomorrow and get the boards on. That's pretty much it. I'll make ramps and get the inner fender plates done in due time. It's not really a huge rush on my end. So anyway, we'll pick up when I get the wood tomorrow. But all in all, it's coming along. Alrighty, so I got the wood yesterday. I did manage to find 20-foot lengths. It's just spruce 2x8s. They didn't have pressure treated wood that came in 20-foot sections, so I just went with 2x8s. Tried to get the spacing as best I could. Thought these were 7.5, but they're actually 7.25 wide, so I ended up with one space here where I had to just put smaller pieces in. But all in all, it went pretty well. Touched up the paint in a couple spots, and then I just put like a lacquer on top, so the rain and the snow won't rot the wood too much. At least I'm hoping. I would say the worst part about doing that was screwing the boards down to the steel angle iron. Went through probably 24 snap screws and probably, I don't know, six drill bits. But I mean, all in all, went pretty good. Thing is you got to drill a pilot hole, right? So drill a pilot hole, and I did 200 screws, so I probably drilled 400 holes. It was quite time consuming. The boards did kind of fit right under the angle iron there. Wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I had to kind of hammer them in there, but they did fit, so they're kind of nice and snug under the front, which is good. Like I said, I just touched up the paint a bit, and that's pretty much it. So, pros and cons to this. I'll start with a pro. If you're trying to do this on a budget, it's a good way to start. If you can find a wrecked camper for, you know, a couple $100. Mine was 600, but if you factor in the price of axles, wheels and tires, then the frame, just to get going, you're gonna be, I would say, at least $1,000 right there. So it's a good start. Another pro would be if you want a project to keep you busy. That's something to kill some time and build it how you want it. Some cons, I would say that it's pretty narrow. The axles are pretty narrow, so that's something to consider if you're wanting to do this. If you're going to be wider than 6.5 feet, maybe you have to do like some drive over fenders or flip the axles and have a full wide deck with the wheels under the deck. Another con is it's pretty time consuming. It took me about a week. I'd say about a week, all said and done, to by the time I got the trailer, brought it home, modified it, got the steel, got the wood, put the fenders on, wired it up. I'd say it was about a week of work. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Like I said, I got to build it kind of how I envisioned it, so good to keep me busy. So the trailer was $600. The fenders were $300. They're $150 each. The steel for the perimeter and some miscellaneous angle, that was about $300 as well. And then the wood was just under $300, so I'm about $1,400 all in. But that being said, I'm still pretty happy because, like, I got that big unit there, which is basically like a toy hauler I made. My car fits on the back of that, but the problem is whenever I gotta go get steel or move somebody else's car, like, it just doesn't work. And that thing's also really high off the ground. So like, it literally just fits my car and that's it. I have to pull the bumper off it just to fit it properly. So this is going to be good for me to move the car around if I'm not going drifting, whatever the case may be, just towing it to a shop, or if I got to get steel, yada yada yada. So anyway, that's the camper conversion right there. Pretty stoked on it.